G'day everyone, this is the Madbean Lavache. It's based on the Les Lewis. I'll just explain a few things before I go on to the sound demo just quickly. I originally built it with a 2N5088 and I've since changed that to a older Hitachi Japanese vintage silicon transistor, I can't recall what it sounded like with the 2N5088, but I'm pretty sure it sounds a bit smoother with the new Japanese transistor. I'm just going to do a comparison between those two, partially for my own sake, to actually hear if there was actually much of a difference between those two. So I'll do that in the sound demo as well. One of the best things I think I like about this overdrive is it is very subtle, but you can play soft clean notes through your guitar and it comes out nice and clearly, and then when you strike a chord heavily it breaks up. I think you'd probably call that, without using too many stomp box buzzwords, I think that's called transparent, and it's also transparent in the respect that if you set it to unity between your amp and the pedal, the tone is very similar. It's a bit different through the pedal, but it's pretty damn close, I reckon. So you can almost play clean guitar with it turned on, as it would sound if it was turned off, and then when you hit a chord, the overdrive kicks in, if that makes sense. I'll show you a few demos of that anyway. Anyway, that's enough talking. I'll get on to the sound demo. I'll do a little bit of a build report at the end as well. So just a quick explanation of what's going on the front here. You've got gain, that's a diode selector, and that's volume. This is the pedal engaged or not, so the pedal's on, the pedal's off. When the pedal's on, this second switch will add a gain boost. It adds a bit more overdrive, but it obviously doesn't do anything when the pedal's off. So like in this particular setup as it looks now, just because that red light's on doesn't mean it's doing anything. The pedal's disengaged. It only does something obviously when you turn the pedal on. So just with that sound comparison first, I think I've worked out why I like the older vintage Japanese transistor over the more modern 2N5088, which if you've never seen one looks like that, is because it's actually lower HFE. It's probably got more to do with it than the fact that it's old school. Oh, by the way, it's a 2SC281 in case you really like it and you want to try and find one yourself. Yeah, I just think that the 2N5088's just got too much gain for it, and I don't think it sounds as good as when it's a bit subtler with the Japanese one. And also, it looks cool. And as we know with pedals, if the inside of the circuitry looks cool, it sounds better. It's a proven fact. It just sounds better. You're gonna have to excuse my sarcasm on that last bit, but yeah, nah, it doesn't make any difference. But yeah, I just think it sounds better because it's got lower gain. So the enclosure was a pre-painted one from Mammoth. I can't remember the color, and I'm not even sure that they still stock it. But there are a few bite marks actually in the enclosure, and the reason for this is because when I actually posted it on the Madbean forum build report, someone actually said it looked a bit like a Werther's original, and from that moment on I just kept wanting to actually eat the pedal. So there's a few teeth marks around the outside of it. I managed to fit it into a 1590B. I think the original's probably, to me it looks more like the size of about a 1590BB, but it was a pretty tight squeeze, and I did manage to get it in. I had to put the PCB in sideways, and I mean, it's not the neatest setup. You can see that I've used some tape around to stop shorting out because it was getting a bit tight, but yeah, managed to get it in, and I mean, it's not horrible wiring, it's just a little bit tight in there, and yeah, it's in a really small box, which is pretty convenient, and that's pretty much it. And just finally, one mistake I actually made. You can see a bit of black tape there, and you can see the Les Lewis sticker on the front. Well, actually under that is a drill hole, because when I was drilling the front, I drilled the front out, and the front kind of looks, what's the word? It's the top symmetrical, the top's the same as the bottom, and I actually drilled the DC hole down here accidentally. So yeah, that's a stuff up. We all make stuff ups. Don't worry too much about that. But yeah, I just put the sticker over it so you can't see it. So anyway, that's the build report for the Lavache. Yeah, it's probably one of the lowest gain overdrives I think I've got. It's probably similar to maybe a Honeybee. Yeah, it's probably similar sort of gain to that, but yeah, it's really nice, and I think the best feature about it is the fact that you can play some chords and you can hear it breaking up, and then you just play a few lighter notes and it cleans up really nicely. You don't even have to touch your volume on the guitar. It's just it's that subtle. The overdrive is that subtle. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.